to the moon. In 1961, the United States embarked on a mission that would change the world forever. President John F. Kennedy wanted the country to work together toward a common goal of putting a man on the moon by the end of that decade. The American Space Agency, known as NASA, was in charge of planning the many missions into outer space. NASA wanted to ensure that the spaceships were safe for the astronauts. The first spaceships that NASA built were sent into space without people on board. After a few setbacks and changes in designs, NASA was ready to send humans into space. The first Americans orbited the Earth in October 1968. 2 months later, 3 astronauts traveled to the dark side of the moon and back, but they did not land. 3 more astronauts traveled to the moon and back in May 1969. However, they also did not land on the moon. These were valuable trips, but the NASA mission was to actually land on the moon, not just to orbit it. 3 astronauts took off from Kennedy Space Center in Florida on July 16, 1969, on the Apollo 2. After traveling 240,000 miles in 76 hours, this spaceship finally arrived at the moon. The main spaceship remained in orbit around the moon, while a smaller lunar module traveled down to the surface. The smaller lunar module, called the Eagle, touched down on the moon. Astronauts on board reported back to Earth with the words, "The Eagle has landed." 6 hours after landing, astronaut and command pilot Neil Armstrong opened the hatch of the lunar module. Television cameras recorded Armstrong as he gently made his way down the ladder. On July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first human ever to step foot on the moon. As he placed his foot on the powdery surface, he stated, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Armstrong was joined by astronaut Buzz Aldrin, who joined him on the moon 19 minutes later. Together, the 2 astronauts took photographs, ran scientific tests, planted a U.S. flag, and spoke to then-President Richard Nixon. This historic mission, to perform a manned lunar landing and return the mission safely to Earth, helped pave the way for the Apollo lunar landing missions to follow.